Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to Team Fortress 2. Today I have a couple of clips of Badwater Bastard playing in the background, as we are going to be discussing a couple of updates and possibly a little bit of planning, as the video title might potentially imply, if that's what I decide to name it. And if not, then, well, this video is not about what the title says, but maybe it is. I don't know. You'll have to figure it out for yourself. So I could maybe start this video off by saying, oh hey, it's another millionth introduction where I talk about the fact that I haven't touched TF2 in a while because I've been busy doing other things. And yeah, there are a couple of other things that do need to be addressed as to why TF2 has seen less of the light of day during the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to start off by saying that the weather here in Canada is really terrible, and basically for us, summer just officially started. Like, a month before this, our weather was terrible. Even just last week, we had probably the worst storm clouds, just overcast days, nothing really exciting, nothing really going to the beach worthy. It's just been really, really crappy weather lately, and I'm sure it's not the most riveting topic to discuss in a Team Fortress 2 video, but hey, it's something that we here in Canada just like to do, or maybe it's just exclusive to my province, I don't exactly know. So yeah, summer just pretty much officially began for us, and we're really just trying to fit in as much time outside as possible. And if I'm not really doing that, then I'm probably working at a job. This is something I haven't really addressed in a while either, is the fact that I actually landed a part-time job for the summer. It's kind of funny how this actually began, because originally it started out as just a volunteer service. That is something that I have attempted to actually apply myself for a long time ago. I remember I wanted to work at, like, the Humane Society, and I did sort of succeed at doing that, but I only managed to work one shift before I realized that I was allergic to cats, and that didn't exactly go down well. So now I'm currently working at a thrift store, and it was kind of funny how this started out. Again, I'm going to get into a very tiny story about this. Originally, I just started working a couple of days a week for 3-hour shifts, and that was about it. And then one day the boss tells me, hey, we're looking for some temporary employees. Would you like to be a temporary employee until sometime in September, maybe? And of course I am. I really want to get paid for some of this work I do. I mean, I'm really happy to be doing volunteer service, but then I got that job offer for, even though while it is temporary, hey, it's something. It's probably the first actual job I've ever had, and I have to say, it kind of pretty much is a blessing at this point. I'm really happy to be working this job. And that does mean, yes, my hours have been extended a little bit, so now I work about 4 shifts per week, 5 hours a day. And that really does keep my schedule a little bit cramped. It's left me with less time to record, because most of the time, at the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. You know, I want to go actually do something like relax and not have to worry about wearing out my voice or anything, which might not seem like much effort, but the physical exhaustion, it can get to you after a little bit of time. Now, I don't exactly know what I'm going to be doing after this temporary employment ends. They might keep me around, or I might go searching for another job, but I don't exactly know when that's going to be. Hell, I might not even be able to cover another part-time job by the time the school year begins once again. I have to start studying for, like, GEDs and things like that, and all sorts of boring stuff that really isn't TF2 related, just like most of the stuff I've already talked about. One TF2 related thing I can say is that, oh hey, there was an update and I talked about 1 or 2 or 3 weapons, and that was about it. I mean, really, I kinda want to talk a bit more about some weapons which I find interesting, but I have yet to really do that because I haven't found too many interesting things I really want to talk about. One gameplay I attempted to record was like me trying to play Big Earner Spy, but as it turns out, I'm a really bad spy. Like, I think I've only clocked in about 22 hours of spy ever since I reset my stats, which was like a very long time ago. And yeah, that might just explain it. I just don't really have much spy experience, and spy's hard. Like, I don't have really much of the patience for it as other people do, so maybe you'll see a gameplay of that, but it will probably be not exactly as good as I'd want it to be. But you know what, I digress. At least I have a little bit of gameplay playing around in the background, which, with the Demo Night stuff, it's not really anything new, but I did show off the Airstrike, which happened to be buffed, and that was a pretty neat feature of this latest Gunmetal update. And I guess we'll just play it off from there eventually. I think it's important to assess that I can indeed play Team Fortress 2 in my spare time, whenever I please. Will I force myself to do it? In most likelihood, no. The last thing I want is for this game to get stale for me, and I'm gonna try and keep things fresh by continuing to record other videos of other games, essentially. I've already mentioned this plenty of times in my commentaries before, and I certainly will mention it again. Not that it's for everyone, you know, different scats for different cats. I do playthroughs of other video games. Like currently right now, I'm doing a playthrough of the DLC recently released for a puzzle game called The Talos Principle, and it's by Croteam. So that's pretty neat. I'm really enjoying doing that playthrough whenever I can. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna play other games all the time. No, of course not. But I'm not really going to devote myself to playing Team Fortress 2 24/7. That's certainly the last thing I want to do for reasons which I've just explained. So again, it's not for everyone, but I want to keep things fun for this channel. I know that the demand for Team Fortress 2 is certainly a lot higher compared to other games, and that's because it certainly does have a very high fan base. You know, it has a really high fan base. We're all sitting here up in the clouds, up high and in the sky. We're all having a great time playing this game, while meanwhile some of us are just a little bit down to earth playing video games that are a little bit different sometimes, maybe. I don't know where this part of the commentary is going, by the way. I'm just kind of hoping to extend it through the rest of the time until at least 13 minutes of me talking has passed. Right now, I would also like to explain my lack of inspiration for doing live commentaries of Team Fortress for this channel for a while now. I think the last proper one I ever uploaded was some sort of Huntsman slash Ambassador Spy gameplay. Maybe not fully Ambassador, but I was playing Spy. I remember that much. That's what I saw on the tapes, at least. I remember doing that, and right now, as I've been recording this current commentary, I've sort of been thinking, you know, I really haven't had that much of an inspiration to do much live commentaries, probably because of how I don't like having them less than 15 minutes long. Because as you probably know, a couple of months ago, I received some sort of copyright strike over some video, and it's a bit of a mess that I really still think was a false copyright claim, but I don't really need to rant about that right now. I've gotten past that fact, and I'm just gonna have to wait until, like, October before my videos can be longer than 15 minutes once again. I really miss doing the loadout request videos, and really, there's nothing stopping me from actually doing loadout requests in general, but I love doing live loadout requests the most. Like, those feel the most genuine to me of all things. It keeps me sort of in touch with you guys, you people who are watching the videos and occasionally suggesting the loadouts which I play with. And doing them in post-commentary, it does leave me time to talk about them, and I could probably record gameplays that look a little bit more sufficient compared to some of the live stuff where basically I have no idea what's going to happen in those matches. It's not really as genuine is the problem. I feel as though whenever I'm doing something live, it's definitely a lot more fun to see just how crazy that sort of experience can be. You know, you don't know what's going to happen in the live commentary. And it could take a couple of attempts before I find something that I'm generally satisfied with after I've recorded it. But it's just, you never know. You never ever get a chance to know or predict what's going to happen in a TF2 match. And it's a lot of fun to do that, especially with some of the loadout requests you guys give me. No matter how crazy they get, no matter how stupid they get, I love them all the same, and I'm really glad to be using them from time to time when I get the chance. It's just getting the actual chance is not really as much possible as it used to be now. My live commentaries will traditionally be much longer than 15 minutes, sometimes it could be even half an hour if it gets that drastic. But that's just part of the fun I draw out of that sort of thing. If you're not really into that, again, you know, I don't mind. Some people just have different preferences, and as it turns out, I really do enjoy doing the live, longer commentaries a bit more often than anything. But I'm going to have to wait until I get a chance to do those once again, because I don't really have a set or established plan as of the moment. I don't really know what I want to do for my live TF2 videos. You know, I could just throw on a certain loadout as a specific class. Let's say, oh hey, today I'm gonna play Pyro using the Greaser, the Flare Gun, and, I don't know, the Ham. But, am I going to do that? Well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Is it going to be as fun? No, it's boring. I'm a really boring person, and I don't know how to come up with these silly loadouts for myself, and that's why I have you people watching these videos if you still even do. So, that's basically that point out of the way. I want to wait a little bit more time before I actually do much in the way of live commentaries, and what's kind of been keeping me distracted is doing other playthroughs. So, are the playthroughs permanent or temporary? Well, I certainly like to keep the variety up and running most of the time, but I definitely do want to get back into doing the loadout request videos the most. Just when am I going to do that? Probably immediately after the copyright strike ends. And those are the plans for the channel in TF2. Lately, I've ascertained that it's basically impossible for me to make any promises without the possibility of breaking them. So, I'm just going to say right now, I will not promise you what I'm going to record with Team Fortress 2, or when I'm going to record, except for one thing, is that I want to try and keep the live commentaries at a minimum for this channel. I'm not going to abolish them completely until sometime in October. I'll probably still do a couple of recordings of me playing around with a few friends and doing silly shenanigans and things like that. People like Magus the Bonehead or Ace Overlord, or possibly a few other people here and there, you never exactly know. But the main point is, I just want to wait until I can actually do the loadout request videos again, and that's pretty much the biggest problem that I'm facing right now, is just the lack of inspiration, motivation, and basically ability to do that. I will say, however, you guys are all very patient, and for the amount of people which I've acquired in terms of subscriptions for the past while, I have to say 700 is a pretty big number. You know, I do eventually want to reach that long-term goal of 1,000. It's part of the process of just trying out a whole bunch of different things in life and seeing if you're comfortable with that. I found that YouTube is probably one of the best hobbies I've ever had, and having almost reached 1,000 is pretty phenomenal to me. It's a pretty big number of people that you have subscribed. And I know it's not all collected from possibly my gameplays or things like that. I had a couple of subscribers before I actually started to buckle down and try playing video games with commentary to see how people reacted to that. I feel as though that the reception has been generally positive, and for the small fan base that I've managed to build of just doing TF2 or possibly other playthroughs and things like that, I'm really satisfied with it, and I feel as though this is a good time to say thank you. Just, oh god, thank you all so much for doing this for me. It means a lot to have people who are genuinely and satisfyingly entertained out of the stuff I do. It's not phenomenal. I'm very terrible at editing videos. I think we've managed to prove this just by me trying to slap a moving image onto some other video playing in the background. And I'm pretty bad at commentary sometimes. Like, my commentary can get extremely repetitive, and it takes quite a while to get used to actually doing some of the post-commentary stuff where I try to stay focused on a single subject. But I feel as though I owe you guys a really huge thank you for doing all of this for me. Just thank you very much for sticking around, and thank you very much for being patient. And thank you most importantly for 700. 700 is a fairly decently big-sized number. Lots of different words I can use to describe the number 700, but it is a pretty great number overall, and I highly appreciate what you've done. So, see you in the next TF2 video? Quite possibly. Will it be live? I don't know. But that's the idea behind live commentaries, is that you never know what's going to happen, and you never know what's going to happen with this channel, but hopefully whatever will happen will probably be something decent or good. You never know. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day or evening. And I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
John Cena!